If it were from other than God, you would find in it many contradictions. One proven error would be enough, one mistake to collapse the challenge. A new age has come, the age of artificial intelligence. And in this age, no error can hide. The ultimate test begins. 10 heaviest accusations, 10 deepest trials. Will the Quran fall or prove its divine claim? Every holy book makes a claim, but the Quran makes one unlike any other. It doesn't only invite belief, it dares humanity to disprove it. If this book were from other than God, you would find in it many contradictions. Think about that. 600 pages revealed over 14 centuries ago, and it throws down the challenge. Read it, search it. If there is a mistake, expose it. No other scripture speaks this boldly. The Quran doesn't only claim truth, it claims absolute perfection. But perfection is dangerous to claim because even a single proven error would collapse it. Tonight, we accept the challenge, a challenge the Quran itself set more than 14 centuries ago. The age of artificial intelligence has begun, and in this age, no contradiction can hide. AI does not believe or doubt, it measures, it reveals, and when it speaks, only evidence remains. For centuries, Muslims and Christians, scholars and skeptics have tried. From sermons to classrooms, from books to online debates, the same accusations return. The Quran contains contradictions. The Quran has errors. They say it fails modern science. They say it clashes with history. They even say it contradicts itself. But are these genuine contradictions or shadows shaped by translation and context? Tonight, their claims will face the ultimate test. With artificial intelligence, we will analyze the Quran as never before. We will test everything: language, grammar, meaning, history, science. For fairness and for perspective, the same AI analysis will also be applied to the Bible, not to attack, but to verify the method itself. And above all, we will examine the 10 strongest accusations ever made against the Quran. 10 claims of contradiction, 10 claims of error, each one tested from every angle, and the evidence alone will deliver the verdict. Now comes the mystery. Will AI uncover a flaw in the Quran, or will it confirm what many see as the Quran miracle, that no error exists within it? Our test began with a simple request. We asked AI to analyze the Quran in full, searching for contradictions. No opinion, no commentary, just raw data. AI scanned the Quran surah by surah, verse by verse, hunting for inconsistencies, broken meaning, or logical flaws. The result: nothing, not a single contradiction appeared. And this is not just a claim. Our full AI analysis of the Quran will be available, so nothing is hidden and anyone can check and reproduce the result themselves. But we did not stop there. In the second phase, we asked AI to probe deeper. Grammar, structure, coherence, rhythm. Again, no weakness. Grammar precise, structure intact, rhythm flawless. The third phase was broader. We asked, does the Quran contradict what modern science has already proven? Once more, the answer was no. Quran and science are not in clash. Each test, no matter the method, led to the same verdict. AI could not find a single contradiction in the Quran. But for this challenge to be real, we had to face the critics' claims directly, one by one. Are these genuine flaws or illusions shaped by translation, bias, or misunderstanding? Yet one doubt remained. What if AI avoids exposing errors in sacred texts altogether? If so, this entire experiment would collapse. To resolve that, we advanced to the next step. We had AI run the same test, Quran versus Bible. The results would reveal whether AI is truly free or bound by hidden limits. To resolve the doubt, we had AI compare the Quran and the Bible under the same test. Would AI expose contradictions in both books or avoid sacred texts altogether? The results came quickly. Contradictions in the Bible appeared almost immediately. In the Gospel of Matthew, Joseph is called the son of Jacob. In the Gospel of Luke, Joseph is called the son of Heli. Two genealogies, two different fathers for the same man. Then came Genesis. Chapter 1 says plants were created before humans. Chapter 2 reverses it, humans before plants. Two creation accounts side by side, impossible to reconcile. Even in matters of science, the conflict stood out. In Leviticus, rabbits are described as chewing cud like cattle. Modern biology proves this false. In Genesis, the moon is called a light, yet we know it only reflects the light of the sun. Contradictions, errors, easy for AI to detect. The difference was clear. When AI analyzed the Bible, contradictions appeared. When it analyzed the Quran, it found none. And so the focus returns to the loudest accusations repeated online. With AI, we will test the 10 strongest claims against the Quran one by one. And remember, even a single proven error would collapse its claim of perfection. Stay until the end for a bonus analysis where we uncover the pattern behind these claims and what they truly reveal about the Quran. The countdown begins with a question that has echoed for centuries. Are our choices truly free or already written by fate? The Quran presents both sides. Allah guides whom He wills and misguides whom He wills. Whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Critics call this a contradiction. Free will versus destiny. So we had AI test the verses side by side. The result was clear. No contradiction. One perspective speaks from above. Allah's sovereignty, the ultimate power that encompasses all. The other speaks from below. Human responsibility, the freedom to choose belief or denial. It is like a teacher who gives the same lesson to every student, yet knows from the beginning who will learn and who will ignore it. The knowledge is offered. The choice is real, but the outcome is never hidden from the one beyond time. Two perspectives, two levels, not two contradictions. And as the countdown continues, the challenges only grow heavier. At number 9, history itself becomes the witness. In Surah 10:92, Allah declares to Pharaoh as he drowns, "Today we will preserve your body so that you may be a sign for those after you." Critics long argued, how could this be true? If Pharaoh's body sank beneath the waves, how could it survive? In the prophet's time, nothing of Pharaoh remained. For centuries, the verse was bold, unverified, and often the subject of mockery. Yes, a drowned body might wash ashore, but preserved for more than 3,000 years? Unthinkable. Then came archaeology. In 1881, deep in the Valley of the Kings, the mummy of Ramesses II was uncovered, his body astonishingly intact, better preserved than many pharaohs whose remains had crumbled or disappeared. Forensic studies even revealed grains of salt in his flesh and lungs, consistent with death by drowning, not only preserved, but preserved exactly as the Quran declared. So we had AI investigate the Quran statement against the historical record. The verdict? No contradiction detected. A verse once mocked as impossible, now aligned with discovery. Here lies the sign, the body of a tyrant hidden for centuries, revealed to the world, a warning for generations, just as the verse proclaimed. And with this, the challenge rises to a new level. At number 8 comes one of the most dramatic stories of all, the flood of Nu, a towering catastrophe, waters rising, a people drowned, and only the prophet and the faithful saved upon the ark. Critics argue this must mean a global flood. If not, how could humanity survive? Why bring pairs of animals? To them, the Quran describes a worldwide deluge, a claim Geology rejects. So we had AI investigate the Quran's verses on the flood. The finding was clear. The Quran never says all mankind was destroyed. It speaks of Nuh's people, his nation, those who denied him. The ark preserved the believers and the life needed to continue. A vast regional flood remembered across Mesopotamia, but not the end of the world. AI's verdict? no contradiction found. The Quran never claimed what critics accused it of, and here is the bottom line. The flood was a natural event, yet one directed by God. Across faiths, signs like this appear again and again. In the Exodus, the sea opened before Moses. Did geology explain it, or does it point to something beyond nature? At number 7 comes a moral challenge. The Quran says no soul will bear the burden of another. Yet in another verse, they will carry their own burdens and also part of the burdens of those they misled. Critics ask, which is it? Do you answer only for yourself, or can you carry the sins of others? To them, this looks like a contradiction at the heart of justice. So we had AI test these verses side by side. The meaning became clear. Each soul is punished only for its own deeds. But when someone leads others astray, they are guilty not just for their sins, but also for the harm they caused. The followers carry their own burdens. The leaders carry theirs, plus the added weight of misleading others. Not a transfer of guilt, but an extra share of responsibility. AI's verdict, no contradiction found. The Quran's teaching is consistent. Every soul faces its own record, and deceivers face theirs, magnified by their influence. And next, the countdown bends time itself into the mystery of a day with Allah. At number 6, the challenge is about time itself. The Quran says, a day with your Lord is like 1,000 years of what you count. Another verse says, the angels and the Spirit ascend to him in a day of 50,000 years. Critics ask, which is it? 1,000 or 50,000? To them, it looks like a contradiction. So we had AI examine the verses side by side. The answer was clear. They speak of two different realities. One shows how humans should grasp divine time. One day with Allah is like 1,000 years on earth. The other describes the day of judgment, a unique event stretching 50,000 years. Two contexts, not a contradiction. Even modern science agrees time is not fixed. Einstein proved it bends with speed and gravity. What feels like a single day in one place can stretch to years in another. Time is relative, and the Quran spoke of this long before science did. AI's verdict, no contradiction found. The Quran did not confuse its message. It revealed time on different levels. Bottom line, human clocks cannot measure divine time. A day with Allah is beyond our counting. And next, the countdown returns to earth, to one of its greatest stories. At number 5, the challenge enters the hidden world inside the womb. The Quran describes life in stages. A drop, then something that clings, then a lump like chewed flesh before bones and flesh take form. Critics claim this is error. They argue the Quran calls the embryo a clot of blood, a primitive mistake. But that is not what the Arabic says. The word alaka does not mean clot. It means something that clings, something suspended, exactly what the embryo does when it attaches to the womb. The next stage, mugha, a chewed-like lump, mirrors the embryo's curled shape marked with ridges like teeth marks. Simple, visual, accurate. AI's verdict? No contradiction found. The Quran's description is precise, not mistaken, and the perspective widens. Modern science confirms these stages. But in the 7th century, Greek embryology, the dominant knowledge of the time, was mostly wrong. Yet the Quran's words align with what we now know to be true. How could this knowledge appear in the 7th century? Next, the countdown turns to the mountains. At number 4, the focus turns to the mountains and what they truly are. The Quran says, have we not made the earth a resting place and the mountains as pegs? Critics object. Mountains, they say, do not hold the earth in place. They are land masses pushed up by tectonic collisions. To them, the Quran repeats ancient myth, not science, but AI examined the wording. The Quran does not call mountains walls or pillars. It calls them pegs, otag. Modern geology confirms the image. Mountains extend deep below the surface, like stakes driven into the ground. Their roots help stabilize the crust against shifting plates. AI's verdict, no contradiction found. The Quran's image is precise, a metaphor that matches the geological reality hidden beneath the earth. And this raises the question, how could such imagery appear in the 7th century, long before the roots of mountains were known? From here, the challenge rises into the grand finale. The top three, the strongest accusations ever made against the Quran. At number three, the night sky itself is put on trial. The Quran says, "We adorned the lowest heaven with lamps and made them missiles against the devils." Critics mock these words. Stars as weapons, suns many times larger than Earth, hurled like arrows. To them, this is mythology, proof, they say, of error. But AI examined the Arabic carefully. The word is shuhub, singular shihab, fiery missiles, blazing streaks of light. To human eyes, these are not stars in their cosmic sense, but meteors burning through the atmosphere. What we call a falling star, the Quran calls a shihab, and the meaning deepens. What humans see as meteors, the Quran describes as both physical and metaphysical, lights decorating the sky and signs of an unseen reality, a defense against devils, layers of meaning, not error. AI's verdict, no contradiction found. The Quran never claims stars themselves were fired as weapons. It chose the word shuhub, distinct from its words for stars, planets, the sun, and the moon. It spoke precisely of meteors, the blazing streaks still seen across the sky. And next comes the runner-up, one of the most mocked verses of all. At number two comes one of the most mocked verses of all. The Quran says about the ancient ruler, Dhul-Qarnayn, on his journey, he found it, the sun setting in a spring of muddy water. Critics seize on this line. The sun, they argue, does not sink into a swamp or pool. To claim so, they say, is absurd. Proof the Quran repeats human error. But AI examined the verse closely. The words are precise. He found it setting. It does not say the sun literally sank into the earth. It describes what Dhul-Qarnayn observed from his viewpoint. From the horizon, the sun appears to dip into the water. Even today, we speak of the sun sinking into the sea. The Quran describes perception, not physics. AI's verdict, no contradiction found. The verse reflects human perspective, the way the world looks to the observer. Even in modern language, we still say the sun set, though we know it is the earth that moves. And now the grand finale, the single heaviest accusation critics raise against the Quran. At number one stands the accusation critics call their strongest weapon. They claim the Quran cannot even do basic math. In one passage, creation is said to take 6 days. In another, they count 8. To them, this is the ultimate contradiction, the kind of mistake even an ordinary book should never make. But the Quran's own wording tells a different story. The verses describe 3 stages. First, the earth created in 2 days, then mountains set in place and provisions measured. The full preparation of earth completed in 4 days total, not 4 more. Finally, the heavens perfected in 2 days. Critics wrongly add 2 plus 4 plus 2. But the Quran says 2, then 4 in total, then 2. 6 days, not 8. AI's verdict, no contradiction found. The so-called heaviest accusation, her that the Quran cannot count, collapses under its own weight. The Quran remains consistent. Creation in 6 days, exactly as it declares. We have tested the 10 heaviest claims, and now comes the final chapter, where we step back, uncover the pattern behind every accusation, and reveal what they truly say about the Quran. We have reached the end of the journey. 10 accusations, 10 tests, and not one has stood. So what pattern do we find? Why do these claims keep returning, even when they collapse so easily? First, the language. Critics twist translations, bending words into errors, while the Arabic remains clear. Second, the shallow reading. They pull out slogans, never pausing to examine context or style. Third, the repetition. The same accusations recycle for centuries long after they were answered. And finally, the comparison. They tried to drag the Quran down to the level of other books, but we saw the difference. When AI analyzed the Bible, contradictions appeared. When it analyzed the Quran, it found none. Is this the greatest Quran miracle in front of us? AI tested the Quran, its language, logic, history, and science, and found no contradiction, not a single error. Lists of claims exist, but one by one they collapse. None survive. For 14 centuries, critics have tried. For 14 centuries, the challenge has remained. The evidence is clear. Do not let mistranslations or shallow claims mislead you. And so here's the challenge today. If you know of a contradiction in the Quran, bring it forward. Present it. Let us test it again. Let the evidence speak. Because the Quran alone dares the world with these words. If it were from other than Allah, you would have found in it many contradictions. No false book would ever make this claim. Only the word of God could stand on perfection. And that perfection is still open before you today for anyone to test, for anyone to see.